Now we are. Sorry about that, everybody. We thought we were live for the last 10 minutes that we've been talking.
What do you guys think? So what do you guys think about everything we just talked about?
Right. What do you think about all that news that we just gave you that we weren't live?
I'm so glad you caught that, because I always look in the upper left-hand corner and I normally notice the red going and I didn't even look.
Well, I thought something seemed weird, but I hit it and the countdown went, and then I thought that it automatically went live, and I just noticed that it was not live. So anyway, we apologize, but weird. But welcome to the show. Oops, sorry. I just realized I had my radio on.
So let me, if I can, let me just jump back in while I'm still thinking about it fresh. So basically, if you guys haven't heard, GigCon is August 4th here in Denver. That's being put on by Pedro. And on the 5th, I'm doing a thing, and they're collaborated. So I mean, they're tied together. If some people had been asking, are these two separate things on the same? No, they're you could think of them as one event, because we're kind of seaming it all together. So I talked to Joel, the CEO founder of Dumpling. For those of you who don't know, I talk to him all the time, but him and I got into a deep conversation, and I had no idea, but he lives up in Seattle, and he was part of the Washington State / Seattle minimum that the gig apps had to pay you. Now, I know there's a lot of fans of that out there, including the rideshare, not Harry. Harry, the rideshare guy, doesn't believe in this. However, two of his main guys and contributors, Sergio and Chris, do. I kind of sit in the middle, maybe, but a little more leaning towards Sergio and Chris. I think that we are finally at that point where something is needed, some kind of intervention, because these gig apps are never going to give up. I mean,
and this is to make sure that the drivers are making a certain amount per hour. Is that correct?
Active hour.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can't just, again, I state that to be very clear, because you can't just sit there and have the app on and do nothing.
Right. Yeah, obviously.
I know, but we need to say that. Like this is if you're an active hour, and they have things, but I mean, like with rideshare, I don't think it is based on the active hour, because they have a per mile rate and a per minute rate that applies regardless, which is weird, because they went to the upfront pricing model, but in Seattle, they're like, show all the upfront pricing you want. This is what you're going to pay them. So it's like, after all these years of asking for transparency as a rideshare driver, they finally did it, but the city overstepped them and said, well, no, you're going to pay them on the mile and minute. And they're like, well, that's what we've been doing for 13, 15 years. And they want upfront. They want to know transparency. And they're like, great, show them transparency, but you're paying them this much. So in the city of Seattle, you make $1.45 a mile and you make 40 cents a minute. It's pretty good pay for ride. I've done a lot of rideshare, and that's pretty good. In fact, that's compared to what it is now here. Like UberX here, I'll give you guys an example. We went to upfront pricing here, and the last rate I remember on a rate card for UberX, just a normal Uber ride, was 55 cents a mile and 10 cents a minute. Our cost of living Seattle is through the roof, but Denver's is right there with it. It's not that far under it. And we're being paid a third of what Seattle is now. And here comes in the problem, because now, hasn't Uber already shown their hand that they're going to be willing to do this in every state? This was always my concern. If you do this in one state, the other states can start asking for it as well.
Right.
So I'm all for getting paid better. I just I think that it got to a point, it got so bad, and I know we're supposed to be talking about Dumpling, but I find this very important, because it's important to all of us. There's some DoorDash stuff going on, but I find it very hard to buy that after 15 years, these guys could not sit down in a room and make an agreement that we need to classify this independent contractor hybrid model as something. Because even when I was talking to Joel, and again, Joel sits on the board that helped pass that up there. So I was really intrigued. Joel and I got into a big conversation about it. He's going to help with that 5th of August event, put Stephanie in some touch with some people. We might have, we have a projector where we're going to try and get some of the city council members who help push this through to actually feed in too.
Wow.
We've got media coming. We've got a union member coming. We've got, and again, guys, it's because if you ever listen to my podcast, especially, but any of my stuff, but the podcast especially, I always have the other side on. That's one of the biggest things I think people appreciate about my podcast, is that I'm not calling people that agree with me.
Right.
And just having them on and going, okay, you agree with me? Good. Let's talk. Like, I have people on who I don't see eye to eye with at all. And
I think that is important, because you need to hear both sides, because you may hear something that you weren't aware of, or you may teach them something, or, it opens everybody's mind, I think.
Well, and that's what I'm kind of trying to get at with this. So Saturday, August 5th here in Denver, at Wash Park Grill from 12 to 2 p.m. Mountain. It's going to be free for all, but you can come in, and we're encouraging all gig workers to come in. If not, at least watch the live stream. I'm going to ask that everybody who comes live stream it to their channel. So hopefully a bunch of creators are live streaming. We're going to have Channel 9 News there. Both Stephanie and I both know two separate reporters who are big at Denver Post who will be there. We're going to have a union delegate there. We're going to have the new Rideshare co-op, which became incorporated last month here in Colorado, that's going against Uber and Lyft. They're going to be there. And we're going to invite I don't know what'll happen, but we're going to make it a public invitation via certified mail, so we can say the date they got it on, that the two people who held out on the vote, who pledged their vote to let this at least hit the floor for a vote, the full transparency here in Colorado and the right to appeal deactivations, they pledged their allegiance to the party, saying, okay, well, let's get this on the floor for a vote. And the day of that, they declared that they were going to the other side. And so it didn't even get the vote it was supposed to get.
Did they ever find out why they switched like that?
Yeah, because one of them, oddly, and this blows my mind, I guess, after all these years, and I actually follow politics too, but I had no idea. But one of the people was elected as a Republican and switched to Democrat. I didn't know you could do that in a term. I mean, to me, it seems incredibly wrong, because I feel like you could just go under the radar of whatever side is going to get elected. You just go as that, get elected, and then switch your party affiliation. I mean, we already know politics is dirty, but I mean, that's really dirty in my opinion. You shouldn't. I feel like if you're elected, you should have to live out your election under the party that you've. I mean, this is, again, it goes in the bigger picture. It goes to why I believe there should be not a two-party system. This needs to be based on your character and your track record type thing.
Right.
Like, forget this party system thing, because there's people on both sides of this. But Joel is very much involved up there. He's going to help with that event. And, I'm not sure, like, it's like this Minnesota legislation. The Minnesota legislation got shot down by the mayor after both the House and the Senate approved it. It got sent back to the House for the double stamp. It got it. It went to the governor. He is the governor of Minnesota has never, ever in his career vetoed anything. And he vetoed the people that he never vetoes, his people from Senate and the House. He's right on their side. He vetoed it. Again, I think this it shows the dirtiness of politics, but it also shows that these people are definitely in bed with these companies. I mean, a guy who's never vetoed a bill in his career, and he has a long political career too. He's never vetoed a bill. Nothing. But he vetoes his first bill that again, just like what happened here, he had already pledged, like he had already sided with. Yeah, well, I'm on board with that. But here's my thing with the Minnesota thing. I think it showed part of the problem when you attach a number to it. Like, okay, so we were talking about how it's $1.45 a mile and 40 cents a minute in Seattle. That's almost the amount they went for. They went for $1.45 and 34 cents a minute in the Twin Cities. And yet the Twin Cities, even though it's their biggest cities up in Minnesota, is about a third of the cost of living as Seattle. So why are you going for the same numbers?
Right.
I mean, to me, it's like this is where the problem comes in, because it's not a blanket thing. You could live in rural North Dakota. You're not going to be I don't want to be mean, but you shouldn't be paid the same as somebody who has to live in Seattle and pay that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, because they're not paying the same every day for their cost of living. So why? Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
I mean, I pointed out to Joel, actually, probably most of you won't know this place, but there's a place called North Platte, Nebraska. It's plotted right between Denver and Omaha, and it's in the middle of nowhere. It's a very small town, so do not think it's big. You guys can go ahead and look it up. It's very small. But there's a DoorDasher there who makes, I don't know, I've chatted with him a few times. He makes what I would call horrible money, but what he calls amazing money. Like if I made that here, I would need 3 more jobs. He makes that there, and his cost of living is about a fifth of mine. So we talk about market to market. Well, this is a big market to market difference, is that we all live in different places. Florida costs what it costs, Denver costs what it costs. That's another factor of this market to market thing, is we all pay a lot different to live.
Oh, for sure. I mean, where I live in Sarasota is vastly different from where I grew up. And, I've been down here 11 and a half years. And yeah, it's night and day.
Yeah. It's like if I had to pack up all of my stuff today, I'm not a millionaire. If I had to pack up all of my stuff and I had to move to North Platte, Nebraska, I could do that and make that work. But if somebody said, now pack up all your stuff and move to New York City, I could not do that.
Right.
I mean, that's not even an option. I would have to turn around and come back, because that I wouldn't be able to afford anything. So I mean, I guess this is my point, kind of, I mean, market to market, on how the apps perform, but not only that, it's market to market on what you think good pay is. Some people really do think what DoorDash is doing right now is good pay. I mean, they're still not, and this goes to something, and then I guess we'll jump ship here a little bit, but this goes to something that I've been talking, like last week we did a thing on Para. This week we did the conclusion with Nova and with Mac, both of who were deactivated last week on the same day, and neither of them worked that day from DoorDash.
That was crazy. I saw
so that. Mac has 13,500 DoorDashes. Nova has 21,100. Between them, they have 35,000 dashes.
I'll tell you what I did notice though, when all that was happening, is I checked, because I don't check my email as often as I should, but I checked it, and I did notice that I had something from DoorDash that they were running a new background check on me for no reason. I mean, there was, I don't know why they did, but anyway, I mean, it came back clear and everything, and I got it within the same day that it was clear, and Checker sent me the thing. But I'm like, I guess, are they running everybody through that, and is that the problem, or what's happening?
I don't know. I think that, but I think now here we go. And no matter how it's going for us right now, all the apps are kind of down. I feel like a bit, all of them, even the better ones. But it goes to show why you should be approaching Dumpling or something like it. And again, Holly, I wanted to mention this. I was saving this till we were live today for you. I almost think it's time because of their name even, for Dumpling to almost rebrand and say Dumpling, and then just to let everybody know we're not just groceries anymore.
Right.
Even though that's been the case for a while, now we've finally heard that from Ashley and from Joel and whatnot. And I think people should hear that, because I think, again, we've always said that name Dumpling. What does that even tell people? Like most people are like, what is that?
That's what I said too. Is I mean, if you're going to have that name, at least maybe add a tagline on to let people know or something. But I don't think, I don't know. I think that they need to work on the app a little bit more, as far as being able to set up some other things within the app besides the groceries, because it isn't something that's an obvious thing to do. It's not, the app isn't really built for it, to be honest. I mean, you can do it in your own way, but it's not really built for that. And so I think that if they're going to go that direction and kind of push that narrative, that they need to build the app out a little bit more to be a little more inclusive of the other things.
Right. Yeah. And so, but I also think they need to market strategize something like right now is the time, because like I was talking about with you before we came on, Kroger's like kind of taking over here right now. Like, and to be honest, you know, it's a hard fight to have on that one if they're going to perform well. But there's still people who are going to want more things than just groceries, or groceries from the same person, who aren't going to want to wait or whatever. So I believe that it's like now is the time. You need to, like, even maybe Dumpling needs to put some marketing money into bringing more people on who are searching for shoppers.
Right. I agree.
You know, I don't know how that looks, but I feel like enough people have a bad taste in their mouth about Instacart right now that it's the time to strike, in at least in a few markets. Get the buzz going.
I totally agree. Things have been a little bit slower this last month or so for me. I don't know if it's the summer slowdown, you know, if people are on vacation or what's going on, but it has been slower. I did get a new interesting client though. And I can tell you that I will win the award for having the client that is the farthest away from where you're shopping, because he lives in Italy.
Wait, what? Oh, because he's coming there?
No, he isn't coming here. He actually has a store in Italy, and he sells like American candy and stuff like that in his store. And so he has a shipping company here at a warehouse that he has. I don't know how he's been doing it in the past, but anyway, they ship him things. So I had to go get him 120 Kit Kat churro bars and 24 bags of the Reese's popcorn. And then I took it to this warehouse, and then they box it up and they send it over to Italy to him.
That's weird.
So how's that for a client? Yeah, so he wants to like try and find some wholesalers and stuff to get some things. But he sent me pictures of his store and all that. I mean, it's all legit. But
yeah, no,
he wants to kind of do a partnership with me where I can, you know, start getting him some things here and, you know, just take him to the warehouse for him to be sent over there for his store.
Yeah, I just find it strange that they don't already have a way to get that stuff.
Well, I think probably because he's not like a big, like Kroger's, you know, he's like a mom and pop shop kind of thing, is my guess.
Yeah. I remember, you know, there must be something though, because, and maybe it's just that the companies over there don't want you interfering with like their candy, because I remember Atlanta Delivers when we had her on, and she's over there in England anyway. And I remember she had a video where she had one of her people here in the United States send her a big basket of candy, and like some of them were ones that she loves, and she's like, none of these can I get here. And so maybe they don't. Maybe they have their own candy and stuff, and those companies keep them out through the distributors. Like, no, if you're going to work with them, we're not going to work with you.
They definitely do have their own line of candy everywhere, but you can find some of the American things, but certainly not the selection you have here. I mean, I've traveled a lot. I've been in Germany and Switzerland and Italy and Vietnam, Cambodia. I've been all over, but
yeah.
You know, they'll have like these cookies that are like Oreos, but not Oreos, you know. But.
Right. And yeah, and I'm not even saying you're going to, like, I've traveled a lot too for the laser company. And so we'll use Vietnam. Yeah. When I was in like Vietnam, they definitely have their own stuff, but they also have a lot of Americans that live there.
Right.
A lot who are missing things from home. So it might not even necessarily be that the Italian people want it. It might be a lot of American people who are there who are like, dude, I just need to get some things from home.
Exactly. Well, and he said, because cereal was he had me take a bunch of pictures in the grocery store when I was in there to see what was available that he could have me get. And cereal was something that he asked about. And I said, well, do you have trouble getting cereal there? And he said, well, no, not all cereal. He said, but, you know, there's certain ones that we can't get here. So.
Yeah. So I don't know what it would be, but I do feel like things come in windows, and I feel like there's a window right now for Dumpling to bring in some clients who then need to find shoppers on the app.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they need to do that, because I don't know how many people are finding us through the app. And I also think, and I'm going to be honest here, I also think Dumpling needs to change a couple things. I think that, because one thing that's, I think we talked about this before, but is it 30 or 60 days? I can't remember. Now I'm drawing a blank. that you have to do one every 30 days?
I believe it's
30 to stay
now.
searchable. Like you can keep doing Dumpling, but you won't be nobody can find you unless you do a shop every 30 days. Here's the thing I don't like. I don't know if this is going on with yours or if this is just a glitch with mine, but every 30 days that I have a review or something, that review gets dropped off as well. So like if I do 2 shops in 30 days, I'm only going to show 2 reviews if they both give me reviews. But I've had like 25 reviews.
So your reviews are not staying on there?
No. I don't know if it's because, now you know this, because I came on a few weeks ago to the search criteria. Right. I don't know if that made a problem for me or whatnot. And so none of the other stuff from before showed, but it feels like, I feel like it's the whole process is there. Where here's what I guess I'm saying. Yeah, okay, I get why you say to stay searchable, you need to do one every 30 days because otherwise you're going to have these people, you could have potential customers calling 5-6 people before they get to one who's still active.
Right. No, I totally get that too.
So I get that, but I don't get why a review would be removed, even if it was 2 years ago.
Now,
or a year ago.
Is that if you're going in through your app, or are you going in looking like a customer would look?
No, yeah, I'm going to like the whatever it is, shop.dumpling.us, like wherever they would land and search for a shopper.
Okay, because I was gonna say I definitely am seeing all my reviews on my side. Let me go in that way and see.
Yeah, on my side I see them too. That's the problem. When I go into the Boss app, I see them. They're all there.
Okay.
So I don't think there's any reason that the reviews should be removed. Because
for sure
I should have 22 or 25 reviews like I do, really showing how good I'm doing, not just the 2 I've done the last month.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that's a big thing. I mean, you want people to see those.
Yeah, and I mean on mine it does not match. It's not.
Okay, I'm about to tell you here. All right, it says that I have 63 reviews, 5 stars. Let's see.
See, that might be right though.
But let me see if I click on it, is it going to show me the reviews?
Well, mine just literally even right where you just were was wrong. It just said 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm like, I've worked a lot harder than this.
No, then I scroll down and it shows me like 3 reviews, and then it says, click here to see, view all reviews. And so I click that.
Yeah, you're already farther than I can get.
Jumping me into the app. Yeah, and they're there, so it's something with yours.
Okay. Well, I'm glad. That's good to know, because that's probably fixable then. Or it's because, like I said, I came on, I did all. So Holly was on the platform before me, so she didn't have to do the classes.
I did. I told you.
No, you didn't. You didn't, but you didn't have to, because you got grandfathered in.
Well, I don't know, because she said that I actually did them in the very beginning when I very first signed up.
Okay. So, okay, well, you did do them then. I didn't until just recently. And so maybe that made it so that nothing shows online until I did that.
But
right.
But it's done now, so it would backtrack and still show all of your reviews. It wouldn't just show from the time you did your classes.
Unless they're thinking until you took the class. But see, they're saying like if you don't do a shop every month, you're not going to show up in the search. Okay, so maybe until I did those, maybe they didn't. Now they're saying, okay, since you did those, you've done 2.
No, I promise you that's not the way it is.
Okay.
So yeah, I think
so I'll get with Ashley. I'll ask Ashley about that, because that's concerning. I don't want to see. I want to see all my reviews, because I've worked really hard for the clients I do have, and I want to see my reviews up there.
Right, absolutely.
And
well, if Joel is coming that weekend to Denver, maybe we could set aside a time, just if we have an hour or 2, that you and I and Joel could sit down and maybe talk about that.
Oh, if he's coming, I'm sure we can make that happen on Friday or whatever. And that's the other thing too that I got to say, is that he said no matter what, he is going to take care of like some really big signage for me. So I'm going to give that to you on Friday to use. Like I'm talking like 6 foot by like 3 foot, like vinyl banner that says Dumpling.
Okay.
You know, just, I don't know, because I was talking to Pedro about signage and he wasn't even really thinking about that. And I was like, dude, signage is very expensive. Coroplast, vinyl, this stuff is hundreds of dollars per piece. Like a 6x3 is, I know this from when I was operating the bar. A 6x3 vinyl piece of signage that would say Dumpling and be very quality and nice is going to cost you around $300 to $400.
Right.
That's a lot of money.
Did he do his signs last year that he had? How did he make those?
The signs for what? Mm-hmm. For what though?
He had like the yard signs, the GigCon signs and stuff.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
He had a banner and stuff.
Yeah,
so
I don't know
where he got that.
You're talking about just for GigCon. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about from Dumpling though.
Right.
Yeah, and same thing.
We were talking to Pedro about it, so I didn't.
Yeah. Well, because I told Hannibal the same thing. Hannibal was trying to get one from Rover, and he approached them, and I told him maybe it sounds like you're going for sponsorship, not. I said, you know, this being the first year you've ever approached them, just ask them for signage and tell them they can send it directly to the hotel because they'll do that because that's free advertising. And then next year you can come back to them and revisit it or whatever. But I was like, if you just ask for signage, it's still going to cost them, but it's probably worth it because it'll get a foot in the door.
Right. Well, and that's one thing, you know, that I told you I wanted to call and talk to Ashley or somebody to see if they could give me like some ink pens or pads of paper with their name or, you know, something like that to have at the table and,
yeah,
you know, that has their branding on it.
So maybe we can get some swag from them too. I don't know. He was very excited. He was very excited that I was including him with the Saturday event because, like I told him, I'm only including companies that are 100% transparent. Now, Joel and Dumpling, that's a different thing because it's up to me or Holly or you guys to be I mean, you have no choice but to be transparent. You have to pick your numbers. You have to pick what you're going to charge. So this is truly running your own business. You're going to pick what you're going to charge. If it doesn't work, you're going to have to adjust your prices. So the transparency is it is automatically there on Dumpling because you're telling it what to be. And then Dumpling is very straight up with their pricing model. So it's, you know, nothing's hidden to the customer. There's no upcharge on the groceries. There's this, that, and the other that we've talked about. And those are all great, but you're going to set the pricing. So.
Right. I mean, I know you know this, but just to tell everybody else, I lowered my prices. I was at 20% of your grocery total or $20 minimum. So I changed that to 15% of the grocery total or $25 minimum. That way the $25 protects me on small orders and the 15% helps the customers that are placing large orders pay less.
Right.
So that's why I decided to change that. So we'll see how that goes for a while. And I had all those flyers made and I still haven't like hit the pavement with it to try to get it up some places. However, I've been looking in the grocery stores, like in the area where you walk in, because it used to be that they would have the bulletin boards where people could put things up. None of the stores here have them, which I think is very odd. I'm like, that's weird. That used to be like a thing.
Yeah.
The only place I saw something was at TSC. They had, which is a tractor supply store. They had a bulletin board that was like outside the restrooms in the back of the store, and I stuck my card up there. But
yeah, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like literally, I am kind of. I've been talking about it. I mean, I've been talking about this forever, but I am ready. I'm ready to. Because who was it that was asking me? Somebody was asking me about Instacart, like. Have you done it in a while? And so I'm kind of getting to that point where I'm about to go to the wall with it and put my thing in everything and just start taking I'm looking for big orders, but I'll start even taking other ones and just shoving my stuff in there until I get some clients from that too, because I just don't care anymore.
Well, I have to say, I did 3 Instacart orders this week. I hadn't done any in like a month, I think it was. And I did one what's today? Tuesday? I think was it 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday, or 2 on Sunday, 1 on Monday, something like that, which is odd because I rarely see any that I want to take, but.
Yeah. I see that in the comments. I see that, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Jeff? What's up, Tony? What's up, Brian? I see that churches are good for the boards. I mean, it is kind of a little bit of thinking outside the box.
Yeah. And here's a question too that says, is any store available to be on Dumpling? Like say the Tractor Supply store, Home Depot, and Lowe's. Yes. And actually Home Depot and Lowe's and Tractor Supply are all already on Dumpling. Mm-hmm. So when you go in to choose your stores, they are there. Any store that takes a Visa card, you can shop at, with the exception of Trader Joe's.
I was just going to say that.
Mm-hmm. With the exception of Trader Joe's, because they're being assholes. But anyway.
But at least Trader Joe's doesn't let anybody in for whatever reason. Nobody's allowed to get in there. So
so even if the store is not listed on Dumpling, say you have Joe Schmo's Butcher Shop down the road from your house, and they're not listed on there, they can choose a specialty store, or your client can just say to you, hey, will you run down to Joe Schmo's Butcher Shop and get me da-da-da-da-da, and say what they want, and you can do that. You can shop anywhere. So that is one great thing about Dumpling. You are not tied down to anything. And if you go to, say, Publix, and you're getting their groceries and there's some things out of stock and you want to run to the Publix down the road and grab some things, you cannot do that on Instacart. You can do that on Dumpling. You can go to 4 Publix if you want to within one shop. You can do whatever you want. It's your business. So
yeah, and again, going back to I think something we touched on, like butcher shops. I use that as an example a lot because we have a lot of small ones around here that are not on any apps. But you can, go to the butcher. I should be doing this. Go to the butcher shop. Say, can I put my dumpling thing up in the window? I mean, or like little pet stores, instead of PetSmart or instead of Petco.
Right.
Go find the mom and pop
things. The local shops. Yeah.
Yeah, where people do go all the time. And there's no way for them to get the delivery because nobody goes there.
Look, Jeff's Journey says that he puts one of his business cards in the credit card slot every time he gets gas.
There you go.
Who would have thought of that? That's a great
underneath the windshield wipers of cars in the parking lot, to be honest.
But I mean, that is a perfect size for that, what he just said. That's funny. Jeff,
I just wonder how many.
Had anybody? I want to know from Jeff if he's had anybody call him and say, "Hey, by the way, I found your card at the gas station." And Jeff, I want to know.
Yeah,
that's great.
I don't know. I would think that maybe another tactic too. I don't know. Maybe was I'll do almost like you. I don't want to screw myself, but it's something I'm thinking about. Like, would I do a first shop for free?
I don't know about that.
I mean, to help me also, because it might help you establish your pricing model with the people. And I know you can't change the pricing for all, but you can deduct or give. I don't know.
Okay, here you know that we are against shopping and delivering food or doing anything for non-tippers. That's just the way we are. And I lowered my prices with because my customers do tip. Well, here's the problem that I've been having, and I'm not quite sure how to address this. But as you know, in Europe, they don't tip. So my Italian guy did not tip. Do you have any suggestions for me on that?
Because
I mean, I'm kind of priced myself, putting that into the mix that I assume that they will, tip at least 10%,
Yeah, I don't know, unless it was something along the lines of, hey, this is totally new ground for me. And, over here in the States, we do tipping. So my pricing model is based on a tipping model.
Yeah.
I know. There's really, one of the biggest problems, you guys, is this is something I think you need to deal with right out of the gate, is that, look, when you land a client, you got to address all the situations right up front. Otherwise, because once you do a shop form, that's it. You can't go back to him and go, you know what? I'd actually like to be paid twice as much.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't know that they're not going to tip until after. You know what I mean? You have to do one, or you don't know that. But
and you can't have another set of prices, and we've talked about why that is. I mean, you can't have people around talking like, hey, I get 15% from this guy. Hey, I use the same shopper, he charges me 20. You can't have that. That's just bad business. But it's, I don't know if they could do like an international setting or where you just charge them a bigger percentage.
Well, and like his card, he was having trouble getting his card working because of course it was coming off the bank in Italy. So I had to call Dumpling and had to go through a big rigmarole for that. So the first part of his order, when I'd gotten the Kit Kat bars, I actually purchased myself, and then he PayPal'd me. So when I sent him the receipt and, the breakdown of, this is for the product, your grocery receipt, this is my shop and delivery fee. And then I said at the end of that, gratuity is at the client's discretion, thinking that would be like a trigger for him to realize, but it wasn't. So
right, but are you going to like Port Authority, or I'm assuming you have to go like take this box somewhere that's like,
I take it to this warehouse that's down on Clark, which is the other side of town from my house. It takes me about 22 minutes from my side of town, but I'm all over town all day. But
so like that day couldn't you just add an international shipping fee? We can add or subtract to the price.
Right.
Yeah, it's like you could add in. Like that wouldn't. He's probably used to that, to be honest. I would guess other people he imports from are facing the same kind of thing. Like, dude, wait a minute, this isn't so worth it to us if
he's paying the shipping through that company.
Yeah, okay, but he's still. You're still not getting paid what you would even here in the States to do the work.
Right.
My guess is like you've traveled enough to know, like, maybe other people don't know this, but if let's say a Kit Kat's, I know things have gone up, so this is probably wrong, but let's say a Kit Kat's $1 here.
It's
going to be like $7 in Italy.
Yeah.
No joke. Not just are things more even that are made over there, but things that have to be imported are way more.
Well, yeah, because I don't know what, and here's the thing too. When I took it to the warehouse and I gave it to the guy that he was going to ship it, I said, well, do you have a way to ship these that they're going to stay cold? Because it's chocolate. Isn't it going to melt? And they don't even ship them like on dry ice or anything. And I've like had them on ice the entire day that I had them with me, because I was like worried they were going to get hot in the car.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hope they get to them okay, but I don't know.
Is it boat shipping? It's not getting to him for months anyway.
No, I don't think it's not taking that long. They're shipping it just like you would ship something to anybody, I guess, where it's probably a plane or something. It's a huge warehouse. They have a website.
I guess my point is, if he has enough money to pay for import export to get you to do the shop, all this, that, and the other, I would think you could add a international shipping fee.
He has ordered from Amazon before. He said that's, he does get some things from Amazon, and he's ordered other things online.
How in the world did he find you?
I don't know. Let me see if I can go back here and see. I don't know how he heard of Dumpling, but I think he found me through there. But I just don't know how he got onto there. He says, I prefer to shop with a personal shopper who has lower prices directly online. Even if I pay you a 15% commission, everything is higher on Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did a lot of work for him that day. I took like 70 pictures in the grocery store and emailed those to him.
That's what I'm saying.
Different stores.
Maybe I said it wrong by saying the shipping fee, because like you said, he's paying the shipping, but like an international fee. I don't know. Maybe you just call it that. It's more work for me to deal with international and out of country stuff. So, I tack this on because here in the States, everybody, I make my difference up by tipping, which is not a universal worldwide thing. And because of that, I charge a little more for that. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I hate things like that. I don't know. Because it could be a pretty lucrative deal if this guy ends up ordering quite a bit from me. But
so I see Chad's in here too. I see GigTube's in here, and he says, if Dumpling is so great, why don't any of my clients place orders? Well, last I heard from you, you had a couple leads, but do you have a client yet? Because they're not your client till they're your client. It's you got to land them first, man. It's
But I think what he's asking is, even if they have a lead and they're on there because they've connected with him on the app, then why aren't they going forward and placing orders? If they've gone to Dumpling, they've gone through the trouble of finding a shopper, then why are they not going forward? I think is what he's asking. And that's a good question.
If you could clarify that, are these leads, Chad, that you've found, or are these leads because when you use the word lead, that's a word that's used on the Boss app, and it's supposed to refer to you didn't do it. They found you through the Dumpling app. That's a lead. And are you getting leads that way? Is that what you're saying? That in your market, people that you have not approached are emailing you and saying, found you on Dumpling, and then they're not ever getting back to you? Or are these people that through your flyers and other things that I've seen you're doing, you're getting contact with people and they're not calling you back?
Well, and I think if I go into my the section here where I have clients, and I do have quite a few people, I'll get a notice that says so and so, connected to your Boss app, and then you never hear anything from them.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that part I have no idea. I do think that, with the way things are headed, I do think that I like we were talking about earlier, I do even think it's to the benefit of Dumpling at this point to really get into some specific marketing in some very targeted areas and really go after some clients to populate finding shoppers and stuff, because it's not the same as it was years ago, even for the Dumpling app. But Instacart, people are failing. It's a good time for Dumpling to come in, but I think it's very important that all of us who do Dumpling are working on the motto of, hey, this isn't just groceries, guys. Do a lot for you. I think that's going to be, at least for me, I know I can actually say I know this. For me, that's going to be a huge thing. I need to tell people I can do everything for you.
Right.
I don't want this to just be like I am replacing Instacart.
Have you gone into the Boss app and changed your automated messages that go out?
No.
Because you can go in there and edit those to say whatever you want them to say.
For what?
Because when somebody connects to you through the marketplace on the Boss app or on the Dumpling app, they will get an automated message. If you go into your Pro tab on your Boss app, and then the second thing down is automated messages. So if you go into that, it'll say when a new client connects, and then there's the message that goes out. They have one that's already in there and typed, but you can go in there and personalize that to say what you want it to say. Okay. Then when a new client connects, and then when a client completes an order, there's another automated message that comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, hold on. When a new client connects, I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. As soon as they connect, they get a message. And then if they haven't done anything and just been stagnant sitting there for 3 days, there's another message that goes out.
Mm-hmm.
Then after they complete an order, there's one. And why is this not scrolling? Scroll.
So Chad says, I printed up flyers that I hand out. Yeah, we saw the flyers of it out to Instacart and Walmart customers. And now, so he's saying they signed up with Dumpling, but they haven't placed an order yet. So I'm guessing that from his QR code or from that flyer, they're signing up for Dumpling, which takes you right to Chad. It doesn't take you to Dumpling Marketplace to search for somebody. Or hopefully you did your QR that way, that it's going right to you. And that because if I send somebody an invite and they sign up, they're sent right to me on the app. Like they're not sent to the Dumpling app and then going, okay, now search for a shopper. It's like it'll send you right to Steve if you take my invite. So if you're using it that way,
whether they find it because they got it off his QR code or whether they found it because they found Dumpling and found him, I mean, either way, they're putting forth the effort to connect to the Dumpling app and then not placing an order. So
that leads me to believe that somehow they are like they're gettable though. Like that's a customer you should be able to get because you've put out your flyer or you've talked to them or you sent out an invite or whatever. And if they took the time to click that invite and download the app, maybe they're just a little freaked out by the app and maybe you need to give them a hand-holding session. You know, I mean, I do that with my clients, to be honest. You know, it just takes a couple times because again, once you have a client, they're, you know, unless something big happens, they should be a client for a long time.
When I said when a client completes an order, I'm sorry, just to backtrack. It's after 21 days, if they haven't placed a second order, is when they get that third message. That's what I was looking for. So there's 3 different messages that'll go out. So you can customize those. So have you, Chad, have you customized your messages, your automated messages also? And do you have an email account set up anywhere, like through, oh crap, who's mine through? The monkey guy.
Oh,
I just set it up. Help. You know what
MailChimp. MailChimp.
I just set that up to where I put it all of my clients that have actually placed orders with me. I put them all into that. So that way I had a way to, because there's not a way in the Dumpling app, on the Boss app, to just send out an email, except for those automated ones, to your clients, which I think that they should have that in the app. You know, I mean, if I want to message one of my clients, you know, it's fine. It'll be a message and it's to one client, but to send out a mass, hey, like I'm changing my pricing or whatever you need to say, that isn't in there. So I did set up MailChimp. I've only sent out one email, and that was about my pricing change. But that would be an idea.
So Chad sent me, he just said, I texted you this. So I just looked. So Chad texted me, he said his Boss app screenshots. And I can't share this because it has people's names and phone numbers.
Right.
But I see, so Chad, at the top, I see 2 people. I'll just use their first names, Geneva and Christina. And Geneva says last order May 22nd, 2023. Christina says last order May 20th, 2023. Sounds like you've got orders from these people. And then with Eunice and Jeremy and Emmy, it says connected May 21st, connected May 23rd, and other dates. And he's got other ones too, but
right. The connected would mean that's when they signed up on the app, but they haven't placed an order yet.
But it must mean that they signed up through his link too.
It'll say on there
if they're connected.
It'll say their name. It'll say the date they connected, and then it'll say lead source, whether it's the marketplace. It'll say that if it was the Dumpling marketplace, it has the Dumpling sign.
I see. Okay. Yep. Okay. So then as I go down to his next screenshot, yes, like he's got one that is connected May 11th, lead source, your web page.
Right. That's a direct.
Then below it, he's got one connected June 9th, lead source, marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
So what does your web page mean?
That would be where they scanned his QR code and went straight to his page.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, but then below that, they've got lead source Boss app invite.
That's where he invited them through the app, where you can go in and do that.
Okay. But so I don't know this. You will. So when it's a client and it's a lead, does that mean they've downloaded, or does that just mean he's sent them the lead or the connection?
If they're on there as a lead, they have come on here and connected somehow.
Oh yeah, it says connected, so I mean they must have the app. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that. I don't know if you have a better one, Holly. I have no idea.
I mean, there are phone numbers listed with these people. So if you wanted to be that brazen, you could call and say, hey, this is Chad. I just wanted to reach out because I noticed that you did connect with me on the app. And did you have any questions or anything? Or maybe just call and ask him.
And that's part of what I was getting at. Because like a lot of my customers, they hate the app. They just don't like it. And I've actually, like, some of them have told me like specific things why, like, because again, we've talked about this, that they use a national average for like Kroger or Safeway or whatever. But you like here in Colorado, Redbird chicken. Okay, Redbird is here in Colorado. I don't even think we ship any of it out of state. That's just here in Colorado. But you can't find it on their site. Like you can find chicken, and I've told them just put chicken in and then let me know it's Redbird. So this is why I tell people just to send me the picture of the list they want.
You mean it's something in the store or it's a restaurant? I'm sorry, I missed that.
No, it's in the grocery stores here. All of them is Redbird chicken. It's like the best chicken in Colorado. It's if you want to spend the extra couple bucks, it's where you want to get your chicken for sure. But you can't find it. So
they can put that in as a custom item.
Right. But I mean, these are problems where customers have been like, why is Redbird not in here? And we all anybody who lives in Colorado knows Redbird. So it's like, why is Redbird not in here? It's like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they work on a national average for pricing, I don't know why they can't add in those items though. Because it is a little, I got to say, as a customer, it would be weird if you're trying to get turned on to this app and some local products you can't find. Like we have honey from Longmont. That doesn't show up on there either. You can't, so it's like, how many things do you want to type in before you're like, why doesn't this app work? I'm looking at King Soopers. That's where I go.
I don't know. I mean, Publix, they do have most of the things that Publix carries, which are, Publix stuff, but there's a section of local stuff that Publix carries also that's just like usually an end cap of stuff. And I don't think those things are probably not in there. But I'm guessing probably just because of the size of Dumpling and the manpower that they have.
Yeah.
That's probably why. But,
right. And so again, it goes back to what we talked about last time though. I would do a thing where it was like, hey, I hate saying this, but use the King Soopers app. Send me that list. And put one thing on the Dumpling app. Right. I mean, all of my clients, all of them don't use the app. Every one of them. I only have 5, but none of them use the app. They all send me a picture of their list.
The app. Every one of mine use the app, except like I've had somebody come in from vacation that I had used the Winn-Dixie app one day.
Yeah, because I just say put one item in, and I said if it's easier for you just to do that, and that's what they do. Every one of them has chosen, and they are all Instacart haters that came to Dumpling. So I'm not going to argue with them. If that's how they want to do it, that's how we'll do it.
Right.
It's kind of like a customer's always right type thing. I'm not going to argue with them. And I think Holly hit on it too. It's manpower. They don't have the team that Instacart has or the amount of people that Instacart has at Dumpling, not even close. So it's a lot more up to you. But I think to me, I'm fine with, letting them use the other apps. Like use the King Soopers cart and send me a picture of it or send me a copy. You can even send, like we were talking about that. I've looked since then. You can, I at least here, there's no store here that, like Safeway, King Soopers, all these big ones, Sprouts. There's no place you can't build a cart and then share it with somebody.
Right. And there's the app Any List that you can make lists on also.
Right. But I mean, if you're going to Sprouts for them, they should just make a cart and send it to you from Sprouts.
Right.
Because if you make a cart here in Denver at Sprouts, Now that is a big enough company where it's not using a national average. It's using the store pricing, because you might be doing a pickup at store too. So it has all the local items, everything. And it's using exact numbers. It's not using, oh, this is the national average. And again, that national average isn't the price they pay. They pay whatever it is in the store. And if there's coupons and digital coupons and things that anything you can do, you can apply and get it down, the number down. So it is something that you have to tell them too. You have to tell them this is the national average on price, but what you'll pay is in-store pricing, and I'll bring you the receipt, which is different from Instacart, who tells you don't take them the receipt.
Right.
So it's like, I'm going to be bringing you the receipt.
Yeah. So Chad, as far as why they haven't placed orders and things, I guess the only suggestion I would have is, either get on the phone and call them, or get on there and get their email and send them an email from your personal email.
Yeah.
And just try to reach back out to them. But I probably need to do the same thing. Because I do need to up my client base as well.
Yeah. I mean, me too. I just, I'm so busy, and I do so many other things and other apps, and I know you do too, Holly.
Yeah.
That it's just hard to find even that little bit, because the little bit of time is like what it, like if you're starting up a business, you're going to put all your time into that business. I can't put all my time into building Dumpling.
Right. And I've been very busy too lately, and I have not been able to put the time in that I want to. I mean, I had to go to Illinois. I'm going back to Illinois in a week and a half. And, then I've come back from that, and then I'm going to Colorado. And so with all these things coming up, I obviously have to be working as much as possible to have the money to be able to go on these trips, So kind of puts me between a rock and a hard place, because would I like to spend all day just going around and talking to people about Dumpling and building my business? Heck yeah, I would. But financially for me right now, I can't. So it's a little frustrating for me.
So maybe that's even an approach, Chad, is that, maybe contact the people. Because again, I just looked too, and like Holly was saying, you have a contact on them. You have the phone number, you have their name, you have everything. Like, call them and say, hey, is there anything I can help you with, walking you through to make you feel more comfortable about this? Is there any questions you have, or, what can I do to move this forward for us?
Yeah. What would you say would be the amount of time that somebody has gone on there and connected before you would A, either contact them that way, or B, it's been too long and you shouldn't contact them? What would be your input on that?
I don't think there is a too long. You're the customer.
No. I'm talking about if somebody signed up, say, okay, I'm going back here on my leads.
Oh, I would almost be annoying about it. I would almost hit them up the first day I got it.
Okay,
hey, glad to see it. Glad to see you connected with me. What can I do to get this first order going?
But I'm saying that since I haven't done that, and I have all these leads, let's say I'm going back here and I see somebody that connected on February 20th who hasn't placed an order. Okay, well, this is now June. So should I even,
I mean, maybe,
hey, to reach out and be like, hey, you connected back in February.
Maybe, I mean, look, you've got good reviews on your page, or whatever, but you could just call them and say, listen, I have been, I've got a little more time. I can take on a few more clients now. I'm sorry I didn't get back to you then.
Well, they got the automated messages through the app.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there's no way to get around saying, I'm sorry I didn't already connect with you. But I would say, like, hey, things have changed for me a bit, and I now have room for a new client, kind of thing.
Yeah. Or I'm just going back through my list of people who have connected with me on the app but haven't placed new orders, and calling to see if I can answer any questions, or if, that's a good idea. Okay. Because I do want to do that. I think I should do that.
Yeah.
Because I gotta change something up, because I do need to increase my customer base.
I mean, Tony says in the chat, he says, sales says you should connect. So I mean, to me, that's right. I mean, look, if I get something through Marketplace, I'm calling them that day. That hasn't happened to me yet, but
they get the automated message, and then they get another one 3 days later. So do you really want to push it?
Yeah, I do. Because I want to say, sorry, you're getting the automated messages. This is me. What can I do to get this first order rolling?
Well, they don't know the automated messages aren't you.
Well, but you can just tell them, hey, nobody's not familiar with automated messages. So, you could even say you probably received an automated message or two from me, but this is me contacting you to see if there's anything I can do to bring in that first order and see if we can work together.
Well, like this first one that goes out, like this is how it reads. It says, "Welcome to Dumpling. I'm Holly, owner of Savvy Shopper of Sarasota and your personal shopper. If you have any questions about how the app works, my services, schedule, or pricing, feel free to shoot me a message here anytime, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Please note I do require a 2-hour minimum notice for orders, as I may be working another order. If you need something faster in an emergency, please reach out via in-app messaging to see if I can accommodate you more quickly. In the meantime, you will be getting a survey shortly to share your grocery preferences with me. So keep an eye out for that. I look forward to hearing from you, Holly Camp, owner of Savvy Shopper." That's what the first message says.
Mm-hmm.
Second one is much shorter. "Hey, you've connected with me. You haven't placed an order. Just reaching out to see if you have any questions I can answer." That's the second one.
Another here's another a thing that I just thought of too. There's a nationwide chain of hotels called Extended Stay America,
Mm-hmm.
but then there's other ones like that too. But Extended Stay America is one that's all over the country. Why? And again, this applies to me too. Why shouldn't I go in there and put a flyer up and talk to the manager? Can I put a flyer up? Because these people are here for months.
Right. There's Residence Inn, Marriott. There's a lot of those places.
Right. But the ones that they're hotels, but they're not. They're long stay hotels. Wouldn't those type of people probably like it too? Because usually they fly in for 3 months, work the whole time.
Yeah. Well, I was delivering with DoorDash the other day to a hotel. And of course, I have the magnets on my car. And so a guy stopped me and started asking me about it. So I gave him a flyer and said, he's like, "Oh yeah, we'll call you. We'll use you. We'll probably drive you crazy." So I haven't heard from him yet, but that's just been, a week ago.
I'm starting to, we've talked about it before, but I'm starting to, I just, every time we do this, I'm reminding myself, I need to make the time, even if it's like a 2-hour a week or 3-hour a week slot, where I just go out and do some kind of guerrilla marketing and just make it different each week. I'm going to go hit up all the butchers and see who will let me put a sign up. Now this week, I'm going to go hit up some long stay hotels during that 3 hours.
Yeah, you're right.
And this is kind of the cost of business, people. Are you going to be paid for those 3 hours? Not a dime.
Yeah.
Not one dime. This is what you're going to get for building a business.
Yeah. I know. It is really just about cutting that time out. And I've been bad about it too. So
it's almost like I need to get it on my calendar. Some things I just kind of pop in here and they're I need an hour here. Okay, I'm going to be doing a shop for this person here. Now I can do curry around it. I almost need to take a section of my week and say this 3 hours on Wednesday is for leads on Dumpling.
Yeah.
And spend that whole 3 hours just working Dumpling angles, whatever it is, because you do need to get aggressive. Let's not forget, guys, we're up against Instacart. Instacart has, I was going to say unlimited money, but it's actually very limited now.
Well, and they're pulling out all the stops. They're going to AI to help with their app. They are using Klarna, so if somebody can place a huge grocery order and break it up into 4 payments over 8 weeks. They're pulling out all the stops too.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm sure some of that comes from what, here, Tony and I live in Denver, and here in Denver, Kroger has fleets now of refrigerated trucks.
Mm-hmm.
And Kroger charges $7.99 for same day. You will get it that day, and you'll get a notification. I think it's 30 minutes before they arrive, but you can pay, or that's $5.99. Plus you pay in-store prices. That's it. Then you can pay $7.99 and you can get it within the hour. So here's the thing. When you're up against that, how, do you just fold the cards and say, forget it, I quit? How could I ever compete with this? No, you change the game. You say, look, I don't just do groceries.
But it's also the personalized service that you're getting. It's that makes the difference between you and Kroger.
Right. But then again, you need to find the clients who aren't going, well, I don't care if a couple things are missing. All I need is Kroger. And I just want Kroger. You probably won't crack those people. They probably had a bad experience on Instacart, and maybe they're kind of done with apps. But they're not probably the types who are looking for you to go to the pet store or to this other store or to Walgreens or to I think you really need to get, I think even again, I don't mind saying it on this show. I think Dumpling needs to up the game a bit and really put out there, listen, we are not just groceries, and we are personal shoppers. We're your assistants. We're everything. And I think that kind of buzz, that kind of like, get written up in a couple articles, things like that, because that buzz needs to be happening. You need to make it so that people because right now, even when I talk to other people about Dumpling, when it's not here, they're always like, oh, that other shopping app. Everybody I know thinks of it as the other grocery app.
Really? So they
nobody thinks of it as a personal assistant. Nobody.
No, but the fact that they've heard about it is what is surprising.
Well, I'm saying the ones who have, right? I mean, the ones who have, I'm saying, they're like, oh yeah, that's the other grocery app, right? And I want to be like, no, it's not. It's a personal assistant app, right? I mean, is that right?
It's whatever an owner wants it to be app.
Right. And I guess that's my point, though. I mean, I think that's what people need to be sold on. Look, these grocery stores aren't going to stop. They're coming. I mean, like, and Kroger's still working with Instacart, but only because of what you just mentioned, only because of that, because they're finally trying to Instacart is starting to try and use technology with the chat stuff. That items can be replaced and there's the swap, like they're going more at the technology angle now and the EBT stuff. Like taking low income and what do you call it? The deficiency of like good food.
The other thing that you could do is add on to your automated messages about, by the way, I'm not only groceries, I also do X, Y, and Z, or, like I can refer people to my website that I have that stuff listed, but I revamp a couple things on my website, which is another thing that I've been putting off in the background because I've been busy. But
because I mean, I feel like, look, if I had two of me and I could send one of me out for a week or two to just land leads and do things, I feel like that other me would land quite a few clients because I know me. And if I was really dedicated to doing just that, if I had that kind of time, I feel like I could land a lot in a couple weeks. I mean, who knows where I'd start, but I feel like, knowing me, I would start with a couple things and then I'd go, wait, why don't I do this? And I do that. And then I'd go here or there, and it would just build into how I'm marketing. And I feel like I would come out of it with a lot more clients. I just don't have that time.
Right. That is definitely the biggest commodity that I think we're all short on.
Yeah. And I mean, because the platform's fair. The pricing's fair. You're setting up the pricing. You can offer discounts. I mean, I'm trying to reach at other options here, like maybe a discounted day. Like I know that a lot of people say that like Tuesday happens to be for a lot of, especially like food delivery.
It's our slowest day.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, that's when I ran a bar, it's same kind of thing. Monday, you get Monday Night Football for part of the year. You got other sports. People still go out on Mondays. There's holidays on Mondays, but Tuesday is just that dead day. It's after a weekend. Yeah. Mondays happen. Nobody's really out on a Tuesday night. It used to be our worst night at the bar every week. Yeah. And, maybe you do a half price Tuesday or, something to.
I did mention, was it an ad I did or email, or I don't remember now, but I'm starting to offer a $10 referral bonus, for people that my clients, if they send me somebody that places an order, then after their person places the order, then they'll get $10 off on their next order. So that's something else I want to start. I've said it once somewhere, but I don't remember where. But
what about even like I mean, I don't want to take it too far because, like, are you going to land somebody on this reason alone? No, but what if you did like every 5 shops you do, you get a free shop? I feel like you might get it back in your tip anyway. Like they might be like, oh, cool, the free shop. Awesome. and then they'll tip you good anyway.
That's true. It might be worth trying. I mean,
yeah, I'm just throwing out ideas. I don't know what's going to work, guys. I mean, market to market in each city different. Look, everybody in the United States is suffering right now. Everybody in the world is suffering right now. But I mean, we're all kind of adaptive to like I'm just gonna say it like it is because I'm sick of beating around the bush. It is we're in a recession. If you don't think so, you're just asleep. Because they keep saying the recession's coming, but it's been here. I mean, we're in it.
Yeah, it's not been great.
Yeah, and I mean, clearly, look, everybody feels this. So I think, but people still need to eat and grow. I feel like the grocery space is going to stay around. I don't know what's going to happen.
You still have to buy toilet paper. You still have to buy cleaning supplies. You still have to buy, all that stuff you need. So.
And there's a lot of people who really just kind of don't want to go to the store anymore.
Yeah.
They lost it over the pandemic, and maybe they still do go or whatever, but they don't want to. All you got to do is catch them. You just got to find them. Because I feel like if you could sit down with them, you could just be like, look, what it's almost like, I don't want to compare it to a car salesman because it's such a scummy thing to do, but it's like, you got to find what they're looking for, and you got to be a salesman and meet that need. You got to, you need auto parts every other week and you need groceries weekly. I can do both, Like, I guess whatever they need, you need to be able to do.
Yeah, I agree. I do need to get more aggressive and I've been kind of.
And where in my
feelings about it. So
we're marketing, like
I need a 15-minute conversation with you every morning to motivate me to get off my ass.
I think I need to do what I just said. I think I need to block out like a certain amount of hours. Even if part of that's just customer upkeep or replying to people that are leads or whatever.
Right.
So that you're staying on top of it and you're like always, okay, I've already contacted that person. Yeah. Still not
get a list of stores going where that are local places you want to go talk to, or even local restaurants that maybe don't offer delivery that you want to go talk to about, hey, do you ever have big catering orders or whatever that.
Yeah, or I mean, like apartment complexes that have I know, but like, look, if you're doing a $400 shop and you're being paid well, who cares?
Third floor? No thanks.
Well, if I'm gonna be paid $100, I'll do third floor.
Depends.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, look, you got in the beginning, you got to act like the apps do. What did the apps do? The apps did whatever it took to get the damn client. If you're not willing to do that, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not willing to almost like feel like, dude, I don't know if this is worth it. I mean, that's what it takes to start a business. You need to be like going out on a limb often.
Well, when I talk about third floor, it's not even that I don't want to do it. It's that physically sometimes I have it. I mean, yeah. I'm not a spring chicken.
Well, maybe you could find people and say, listen, I don't do third floor, but I'm happy to deliver it. And, I don't know.
I mean, I'll do it. It's just, it's not easy, and I'll pay for it later. I mean, I wake up many nights screaming with my legs and having to jump up and grab the icy hot and spray myself down and sit and wait for 5 minutes until I'm not in excruciating pain any longer. But yeah, part of getting older.
But I mean, look, the Kroger delivery trucks that are out there right now here, they're doing third floor deliveries. So again, it becomes, look, if you're gonna want a piece of this game, you're gonna have to compete.
I know.
And so I honestly think the biggest competition is to really go after the everything and not just groceries. I think that is the winning combination right there, is that you're saying like, look, I can do whatever you need.
And that is what I tell everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's how to really sell people. I think that's how you're going to get people in, is whatever you need. You need a dog walk, you need a You need something from Walmart. You need, do you need Target? Do you need Kroger? Do you need whatever they need? And as many stops as they need, and work out deals. And if they need 10 stops, cut them a good break. But where you're still making your number, it's
right.
It is more work, guys. But look, the alternative is let the algorithm at Instacart decide that you're going to be paid $8 an hour. And to me, that's just a no-brainer. I'm not going to do $8 an hour. So this is the option, or I'm not going to be doing any groceries. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I can't say how long the delivery space will be around, because I honestly I'm not dissing on it. I know a lot of people count on it, but the delivery space has been diminishing for a bit. Let's be honest here. I know the numbers are still bloated, and they say that, oh, we had this many customers last quarter, but there's always a story that goes with it. Oh, so you finally made money? No, we don't. We still don't make money, but okay. Well, I don't have, and neither does Holly, billions of dollars or millions of dollars to just kind of fund to lose money on every order for 10, 15 years until we can just figure out how to make a dime, but some of these companies do. So you really have to go after it and go after the extras that they'll get, and all the, like, whatever you need, I'm willing to do it. Look, you're going to get from me what you can't get from an app. So I don't know.
Well,
I guess it's like, really, it's how to get in front of people, and I think that, maybe it's finally time to get Celeste on here. And let's talk. I know that things have changed. She's been around for a while, but let's ask her how she boomed it.
I would like to know that. I want to talk to those people that have so many clients that they've had to hire people and stuff, because I'm like, how did they do that? I mean, what happened? I don't.
Well, like, so some of the talking I've done with Celeste, I know that she did city stuff. She was going to city council meetings, and how did that help her? I'm not really sure. We never got into the details of it. I just know that when I was first learning about this, that was an attack of her. She went to city council meetings. She went to this. She went to that.
Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, she was going to things that I would never do, but maybe that's what I need to do.
Yeah, true.
Well,
and it is different, I think, depending on, like, if I was in Decatur, Illinois, my hometown, I knew everybody in that town. It wouldn't have been hard for me to build up a client base. However, financially, the money isn't there like it is, in Sarasota, and Sarasota is much bigger. But I don't know that many people here, honestly. I moved here 11 and a half years ago, but I really haven't gone out and made a whole bunch of friends or anything here. I just haven't. I've got my kids and my husband, and that's it. But
so it's really just learning where you need. I think it's really targeting, where do we find the clients? And so, yeah, I think that, I think we need to start getting. I think it's time. We've been doing enough of these. I think that we need to start getting some guests on, and some of these guests are really. Some of them have been doing it so long that they're going to be telling us stories from 4 years ago, how they got their dumpling base together, and maybe part of that was the pandemic. So, we're past that point.
Now we're past that point, but they still have those clients.
Right. And so, like, yeah, exactly. Like, and also, how are they landing new ones now, even if they did do it during the pandemic? Because, I mean, Celeste has brought on employees. So, I mean, like, how is she growing it even more?
Right.
What is she doing? And I think that we are at that point. It's a good time to start bringing in a guest. Like, I know Suze said she'd come on too. And Suze I've had on before. She's amazing. And she's been killing it with Dumpling for years. And I know she even oddly has a couple of clients who she doesn't charge. Like, she charges them for the groceries and stuff, but she has a couple of clients that are like, she does it for free because they need it. Just really? A couple, yeah.
How did she get into that, I wonder?
I think it's just if you've never talked to her, when you meet her, you'll know. It's just kind of like her way. She's been through a lot, and she's like one of the kindest people on earth, and she's just, all smiles. And I think that if somebody really needed something, she would do it for them. And if she's like, here's my pricing, they're like, oh, I can't do that. I think she's taken a couple under her wing. Like, okay, I'll help you out.
Right.
Now, my guess is occasionally they tip her or something, because I know she has many clients. It's not like those two is what makes her business, clearly, because they're not paying her. But my point is, she has enough business, and she only does Dumpling. She doesn't have another gig, and she does not work gig apps. So she has enough business to be able to do that. I mean, if I had enough business to be able to do that, I would probably, if there were one or two clients who were like, I need the help, I can't afford it, I would say, look, at least for a while, like, I'll help you for a bit, and if you can, just throw me a tip here or there. But
right.
when you can't, that's
well. And I was doing deliveries for that food bank for a while, and they paid a smaller amount, and I did those jobs for them without I wasn't going to up any prices for them or anything. And they paid what I just said, pay me whatever you've been paying people in the past, because that was something that, I wanted to do because of the service that they were providing the community. So I was okay with, doing that for a few hours every week, and, taking that pay cut for those hours. That was fine, because I felt like I was contributing somewhat to the community, at least. So, I see that, it is a good thing, I think.
So maybe each of us should, maybe before the next one, we should each like find 3, and we don't have to spend too much time digging, but 3 profiles of shoppers on Dumpling who have a ton of reviews, are doing very well, and let's bring up their profiles and see, maybe we can take some notes from their profiles.
Well, I don't know. The only place I don't know how I'd find them on Dumpling, because there's nobody listed in my area, but I find them on Instagram, usually just by going to the Dumpling Instagram page, and you see who's connected to their page. And that's how I've seen other shoppers around the nation, to see, kind of who's doing what. But now I haven't always gone to their Dumpling page from there. So maybe I should do that and kind of see.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is like, let's look up a few of these. I mean, I haven't even looked at Celeste in a while, but Celeste has a page up. It's whatever it is.
She's got a Facebook and
Shopping
stuff.
by the Sea or whatever.
Yeah. I know. I've been on her Facebook and her Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
Our next scheduled show is on the 27th, which is when I'm in Illinois, because I'm going to be there the 23rd through the 3rd.
Okay.
So as far as I know right this second, we should be okay. But I need to check a couple things, because there are 2 things there that I don't have control over the date of. So I just want to make sure that that's not going to be then.
Well, yeah,
make
sure, and then let's get a guest on here. I mean,
because since we did have to miss 2 weeks ago because of me, I don't want to miss 2 weeks from now. So, even though I'm going to be there, we can still do the show.
Yeah. But it's probably it's probably a good time for a guest. I think that, and if guests don't want to do the whole hour, we could have them join for the second hour or the first half, or whatever they feel like doing.
Well, why don't you reach out to Celeste and see if she's available that day?
Yeah, and also, Joel had told us too that he has a couple leads. I'll hit him up on that too. So yes, I mean, I think it's time to start bringing on some of the bigger shoppers and saying, look.
Yeah, I also want to bring on the 2 resort people that I know, so they can talk about the resort business and how that differs from the regular business, and talk about that a little bit. And I have their information. I'm going to reach out to them.
Yeah.
So, but we'll schedule them for maybe a little bit later on this summer.
But I mean, again, guys, all the apps are down. I mean, as far as like, look at even what we were talking about in the beginning, the DoorDash deactivations are like rampant right now. And they're deactivating some of the best workers they have. Nova Dasher is a 4.99 DoorDash driver and has 21,000 deliveries under his belt. And they deactivated him. And when I talked to him, they deactivated him on a Tuesday. He hadn't dashed since Sunday.
Are they going to be able to get back on? Or are they going to go on with another email, or what are they doing?
Look, there's no, I mean, Max was different because Max involved Checker, but Nova has no idea. Nova's like, I don't know what I did. I just got deactivated. I just opened the app and it said nope.
Well, did he sent in something to?
Yeah, but like you're supposed to get an email when you're deactivated. You always have. They're not sending those anymore if you're not aware. Like Mac didn't get one. Nova. I've talked to other people who have been deactivated in the last 2 weeks. Nobody's getting emails. They're just opening the app and they're seeing they're deactivated.
Wow. I got that little message last night when I opened the app about that I'm available to dash anytime. I'm like, well, I can pretty much do that in my area now anyway, all the time. So
right.
It's really not a big prize for me, but that's all right.
I mean, I think something's wrong. Like last week when I had Mac on and he was telling, he told me that his experience was different. It was with Checker, but now I'm questioning the Checker thing because the Checker didn't have anything for him for 3 years. Well, so they said, oh, DoorDash requested a background check, and they said they got all of his Idaho information, but the 3 years that he's lived in Portland with his family, they're like, where have you been for 3 years, kind of thing. And he's like, what are you my ID is Oregon. You've had it on file for 3 years.
Yeah.
My address, you've emailed me text stuff, or you've mailed me text. What are you talking about? I live in Portland. You have my information. You have my license. I have a Portland license. What do you mean, where am I? I'm in Portland, and why don't you know that if you're the background check company?
The content creator that I talked about last time, that I did not name, that was making me very angry because of her rants about Dumpling.
Yeah. She seems like she's just kind of ranting about everything lately.
Well, I'll be honest. I mean, I've always liked her a lot because I've liked her other content and stuff, and I still do. I'm not happy about what she said about Dumpling, but I do still like her other content. I've kind of mellowed a little bit in the last month. But anyway, I just happened to watch her yesterday because I always, do go just check and see if she has anything new on Dumpling she's saying or what she's got going on. But she was talking about Instacart and said that she had the same thing happen to her with Instacart with Checker, and that she got denied. I think she'd already been on there and they ran another check on her or something. And for some reason, her Checker thing wasn't going through. And she's like, there's no reason it shouldn't go through. It's, there's no problems. So, there's definitely a problem with Checker. But I found that interesting that just happened to her when we've been talking about this.
Well, and so guys, just so you know, you can request with all these apps at every time that they say they're going to run a Checker thing, you're asked, do you want a copy of it? And you should always be saying yes, you want a copy sent to you. But you can also go you can also go to Checker's website. You can create an account and get your Checker information.
However, let me warn you a little bit against that. I would still request your copy because when I went to the website through the link on the email that they sent me, I went on there and I put all my information in, and it says, here's your reports. The reports that they pulled up for me were like, I don't know, 2 years ago or something. And they were not even the current reports that they just ran for DoorDash. And those were nowhere to even be found on there, and they were done. So I still prefer they attach that to the email they send me.
Yeah. Oh, of course. And on Reddit right now, a lot of the mass deactivations that are going on. One thing I have heard for sure, it's nice to see some patterns anyway, is that anybody who's moved since your last DoorDash since your last DoorDash check, you most likely are deactivated. For some reason, if you've moved lately, this is a big problem. So you can go find it on every Reddit thread right now.
Wow, I wonder why that is.
Because Checker sucks. We talked about this week. Like Thursday, it drops. The Para Presents that we do every week, it drops. So this week's premiere is part 2 of 2 to last week's, and it's we already recorded it. It's David, Nova Dasher, Mac, and I.
Yeah, I watched the first part of it. It was great.
Yeah, and so this week though, what's going to drop this Thursday? We already recorded, and it's David and I went through this. There's a $30 Checker background check, and there's a $50 background check. Guess what, guys? The next company that does background checks is like $275 is the entry level. So what do you think you're getting for $30?
Oh, I thought you were going to say they're 30 and 50 and DoorDash is paying 10.
No, that's what Checker charges, depending on how many you right. So So David's trying. So one of the things Para's trying to do is through ParaWorks, once you have a background check, we're trying to make it so that that background check can apply, can be used with all the ParaWorks clients to look at your thing. And it doesn't need to be updated more than once a year.
Right.
And so we'll pull it for you. And we're even asking that. So David came up with a great idea. I love this. That when the company, if the company wants to start using you, they need to give you a $10 bonus for the first run because we're doing the background check for them. We've already got it up on your personal profile.
But
so
why would they give?
Because otherwise they have to spend 30 or 50 with Checker. So why not give that driver $10?
Oh. Okay. Well, why not give it to you and David to go back into Para? Because you're paying for it.
Well, because, you know, I mean, look at some of these people, like we know a guy in there's a guy in Miami who is doing very well now, who is working multi-apps, who now doesn't work multi-apps and just works with one of the ParaWorks clients that they met through ParaWorks. And now they don't even use ParaWorks and they're working directly with them. And that's actually,
I don't have anything come through on ParaWorks yet.
We're all for that. You know, we're all for, that's exactly what we want to happen.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I hope that we get it in my area soon.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know if you, I mean, if everybody's as connected, like we're seeing them pop. I mean, they're popping up in everywhere. So we're seeing them in the smallest of towns. So the fact they're not there is crazy to me. But
I've seen one pop up in this entire time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what it is. You know, it's when these companies give up a little bit on these apps. You know, we're there as an option. And again, it's kind of like Dumpling. It's a tougher sell, but once you get them, these companies, a lot of people don't want to work with DoorDash and Instacart and whatnot. A lot of companies, they don't.
Right.
Not just drivers. I'm talking about, you know.
Oh, no, I know.
In fact, I was talking to a friend of mine who's a cook here at a very famous restaurant in Denver. Excuse me. And they're very well known for, they only have one location. I won't say their name because I don't want to get them in trouble. But on Friday and Saturday nights, and I wasn't really aware you could do this because I think this is part of what happened to Uber Lyft Phoenix, where he was taking a bunch of those dead orders and they deactivated him because they said, listen, you're just sitting at this location that's closed and taking everything and then calling for the money. So, okay, whatever happened there, I don't know. But they turned their DoorDash off on Friday and Saturday nights because they're known for their in-house sauces, and people call and get like a taco or whatever, one item, and then like 10 sauces. Because if you go there, you get as many sauces as you want. If you order pickup, you get as many sauces as you want. So they can't really change that. Yeah. And so therefore people are using and abusing it, and they're like calling in and eating all their sauces. And they don't even really want the item. That. So they just unplug it on the weekends or turn it off or whatever I guess if you are on DoorDash, you can say we're done, we're closed. I'm not sure how it works. Or
I know. I wish all the stores that actually do close for some reason would actually shut off their app, and they don't.
So they literally at 4 p.m. on Friday and Saturday they turn DoorDash off. You can't use DoorDash to get their food or anybody. And that's weird to me because, you know, to me it's like, well, everybody that orders through that restaurant, then, you know, aren't those orders going through? And because this is the problem I've heard with DoorDash before, that, you know, orders go through and the restaurant's closed. But maybe that restaurant, maybe when that restaurant is closed, maybe that person's not calling in the number and doing the disconnect number code that you need to put in, that you're not open at this time for whatever reason. But at the same,
I didn't know if they just needed to shut off the app or how they did that to disconnect from that, because that does happen a lot. Where
so I know it takes one of the managers who knows the connection to DoorDash. So like my friend who works here, one of the managers is always working on Friday or Saturday that needs to do it, that knows how to do it. So you have to call into a number and give them a code, and they'll turn DoorDash off, or it's automated or whatever. But you need a code.
Gotcha. So I bet these stores that aren't doing it just don't know that.
Right. Or there's like a worker who isn't privy to that information. They're like, and they even might know about it, but they're like, whatever, we're closing and I'm going home.
Yeah. Because like, well, my McDonald's, you know, they're a 24-hour McDonald's, but there is like an hour and a half that they close in the middle of the night. to kind of transfer over from the nighttime to the breakfast time, but they're really a 24-hour McDonald's. So according to the app, they're always open, but I just know don't go there between 3 and 4:30 because you're not going to get your food. So yeah, if they could like shut that off during those couple hours, that would be nice.
Yeah. So I know that's something that happens. I was actually that was recent. That was about a week ago. I learned that. And I thought that was pretty interesting because I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know you could call and just go, look, you guys are abusing it. We're shutting this down. Because to me, that's kind of, that's going to make a weird system because that people know you're not closed on Friday or Saturday night. What if they really look forward to getting your food once a week? What do you mean you're closed on Friday?
Can they still order it through the restaurant website and just not through DoorDash or not?
For pickup.
Oh, okay, but not delivery.
Yeah, they don't have delivery. That's why they have DoorDash.
Well, because like Papa John's, like you can order through the Papa John's website, or you can order through DoorDash. It's like they have.
Yeah, no, this is just a local. Like I said, it's a one location deal. It's not, but they literally. It's not just the pricing. It's not just that kind of deal that all these restaurants face as a problem. It's that they don't want to deal with. They're literally taking all their food and and upping their food cost and wasting it.
But if they do pickup, can't they do the same thing? Come in and take a bunch of sauces?
Yeah, but I feel like they're willing to deal with the pickup people because those are their people. If you're willing to go pick it up, I mean, what can you do? Maybe you're not as prone to abuse the crap out of it.
Yeah,
if you have to go pick it up, or maybe you're not ordering one $5 item. Maybe you're going to order $30 worth of food and some sauces.
Right.
I feel like you'd be like, if you're getting like 20 sides of sauces and you're ordering a $5 item, are you really going to walk in there and be like, yeah, I'm here for my $5? And they're looking at it going, dude, you're a scumbag.
And what's the name of that restaurant?
I'm not going to say.
Okay. Well, tell me.
I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I don't.
Tell me later, because if it's that good, I want to know so I can hit it when I'm there.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. There's better places that I would go to. I'm just saying this place is known for its sauces. The food isn't, and maybe that's part of it too. The food isn't as great. But the sauces are amazing. But
gotcha. I was listening to the podcast. What is it? Two Chicks in the Office or something. I forget what the name of it is. Something like that. Anyway, they had just gone to Denver and they were talking about that Denver is the second largest airport in the nation, which I didn't know, and how horrible it was to try and get through the Denver airport and what a cluster F it was.
Yeah. Well, you got to because you have to take a train to different terminals.
Yeah, which I've done before in other airports, but I didn't realize that Denver was that big.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge.
Right. Well, I'm glad I know that now to allow for extra time, for what I kind of had planned in my head. So that's good. It was good to know. Yeah.
For anybody flying in and out of Denver, though, real quick tip, if you just want to know something about the airport, if you are flying in and out of gate A, you can walk across. You don't need to take the train. And that cuts off all of the problematic time that people talk about. There's gates A, B, and C. You have to take a train to B and C, but you can walk across to A. And they have a different checkpoint, but you got to know about it. So it's pretty much only regulars that know about it. But if that's like Frontier and Spirit, and all those are in A.
So good, because I'm on Frontier.
Okay, yeah. So Frontier is on A. You can walk across. It's simple. But if most people who do Frontier would still go take the train, and you still have to go through that mega line and all this crap, but you can avoid it.
I heard security takes a while too, so you might want to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you walk across, there's another security. When you walk across, it's very empty. Yeah, people don't know about it because everybody's told you have to take the train for all of them.
The only other thing that I have a little bit of concern with, and I've been to Colorado before, and I remember this happening to me when I went up to Pikes Peak because it is, different elevation. But I know Denver itself is even a different elevation than what I'm used to. And I don't know if there's other people that haven't been in those areas where the elevation is different, that it can make you a little nauseated, and, you can have some reactions to that. Do you find that is the case with people?
Yeah, you got to drink a lot of water. Look, we're 5,280 feet up. from sea level. If you're not familiar, that's 1 mile. So
Okay.
we're 1 mile above sea level. So if you're coming from sea level or close, you will feel an effect. Basically it's like a lot of dry throat, like a dull headache, and you're tired. And the only thing that really fixes it isn't caffeine and stuff, it's water. You got to drink a bunch of water when you get here.
Yeah, I did hear that. So that was just something I kind of wanted to mention out to everybody because, well, for one, I wasn't sure how much I would feel it. And then, you know, just what suggestions you had, because hell, I'm tired enough as it is all the time. So
water,
people
don't buy it. People get here and they go out there first night and they drink. Those people get so hungover that it's unreal. You have to get here and drink water. You have to drink some water.
How long does it take for your body to acclimate to that once you arrive?
If you start drinking water when you get here, you're fine. If you keep drinking water, you probably won't even feel a headache. Okay. I mean,
I remember being really dizzy when we went up to Pikes Peak because that was, pretty high up there. But
yeah. Well, Pikes Peak, that's a 14er. So
yeah, I don't know that I've actually been in Denver. I mean, I was in Colorado Springs. I don't remember if I was in Denver or not.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time ago.
Yeah, elevation will do that. So, and we are a dry climate right now. We've had, unbelievable amounts of rain. It's been crazy, but
I heard you had hail the other day.
Yeah, we have hail. We've had hail like every third day we've had it, and like
my cousin said it was 50 degrees and you had hail.
Yeah. It's gone from rain to hail to sunny back to rain. I mean, it's usually this time of year. It's somewhere between 3 and 5. We usually get 30 minutes of rain and then it's sunny again.
That's how it is here in Florida too.
And it's been like, I don't know, 5 to 8 hours of rain a day lately.
Oh, wow.
So we're not used to this. This is not normal for us at all. Like everything here is green right now. And it usually starts looking like Arizona here on the Front Range.
What is usually the beginning of August as far as?
It's usually hot. It's usually in the high 90s, low hundreds, sunny every day.
But you don't have a lot of humidity there, do you?
We got no humidity.
Oh yeah, then I can handle that temperature, but there's no humidity. It's the humidity that'll kill you.
Right, but yeah. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, this is June and it's usually 100 by now too. It's been in the 70s because it's raining all day.
Oh, I just missed a delivery. Damn it. So,
but yeah, we're over here.
All right. Oh, we are. Yes. Oh my gosh, it's 5 till 6, and I just saw a notice that I missed a delivered. Got sent to me, and I missed the window to take it. Damn. Ah.
Shit.
I know. I hate missing those.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna literally, before we do the next one, I don't know if I'll be able to say it's both weeks, but I'm gonna put aside 3 hours one of the weeks. And try and figure out when, like now. I'm gonna look at my calendar and figure it out and just put it on the damn calendar. And do 3 hours of some kind of guerrilla marketing. I don't know what it'll be.
Okay. And if you could talk to Joel and actually get on the calendar just a time that we can sit down, because I really want to make sure that we get that done while I'm there, that we have that opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And all right, you and I can talk about the rest of the stuff later, but
yeah.
That's it. Okay. I feel like we just covered a lot and nothing all at once.
Yeah, I think that now we'll start having guests on. I think that'll take it in different directions. We'll hear about different markets. We'll hear about their strategies. And I know that from the way we just talk without other people on here, we come up with ideas. It'll be good to have veterans on here that we can bounce them off and go, what are you doing for that?
And we do have ideas. It's just our problem is that we have to start cutting out the time to implement these ideas, because it's not that we don't have ideas and that we're not smart and that we're not go-getters and all that. It's just when you have 100 projects and you're trying to do so many things, there's only so many hours in the day.
Yeah.
So we got to, me, you, everybody, we just all have to prioritize and figure out what is the most important thing to us right now and do it.
Yeah.
So yeah. And for me, that's making money to pay for my trips right now. So
yeah, I mean, for everybody, it's making money. And I think we can all agree that the apps are hurting right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and you can, whatever it is in your market,
oversaturation,
oversaturation, whatever, but nonetheless, in the big picture, everybody that I'm talking to is taking a hit right now. So
yeah, it was weird the other week with the food apps. It was like one night was like so super dead, and it was the same night Pedro had posted something. It was one of his lives that he had posted, and he was super dead that night too. And I think it was a full moon. And then the next night, it was like the money was great, and it was like boom, 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 things pouring in. And then the next night, it was dead again, and I was, having trouble making $100 for the night. It's just so crazy how often on it goes.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, I think that's it for our week. But join us back here in 2 weeks. We'll get a guest on.
Yeah.
And it won't be Matt.
We're gonna get a nice person on here that's not gonna call us names and cuss us out.
He's actually, if you remember from that piece, he's actually here this week for that event that he was talking about.
Oh, did you talk to your friends at Red Rock?
No, but I think that's this Thursday, his event. So part of me wants to just go up to the lot and find him.
Have fun.
I really don't care. I have written him off, sadly.
Where your camera?
No, I've written him off. I don't give a crap. I'm not going to engage in childish misbehavior.
I bet Tony could come get you in his Tesla. That way, when you guys got to take off real quick, you can be like, "Vroom."
Yeah, to be honest, I don't need to go there. I've done that in my life, and I'm trying to move in a positive way. Not being around Matt would just be bad.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well, you and I need to find some time to talk about other Colorado stuff and the kind of schedule for the whole time, that I'm there, and kind of what you have going on and all that. So let's try and touch base on that here in the next couple weeks. And
okay.
I know you're so super busy. It's hard to get 5 minutes with you.
No, yeah, but things are finally coming down a bit, so it's okay.
All right. Well, let me know when you have some time.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.